Hello, Phil Thatch here, and I'm in my side yard right now, and today I'm going to be working with my weirdest lens. It's a M42 mount 135mm f2. So far it sounds pretty awesome. It's made by a company called HANIMEX, and I really don't know all that much about HANIMEX. This lens, or really I've never seen this exact lens anywhere on the internet. I've seen some other HANIMEX lenses, some that have gotten just horrible reviews, and I kind of like mine. I got it for $15 on eBay. I think it was 27 bucks shipped, and they threw in a 2.0 teleconverter with it, which I haven't experimented with at all. But I thought today I would try to make some photographs with it. Right now I have it, I don't know if you can see that down there. Right now I have it on my Z6, and I'm in my side yard. I've got this row of Leland cypress. It's an overcast day, and nothing grows under these Leland cypress because they block so much sun. But right at the edge, where the grass is about to start, there's some interesting plants, basically weeds growing. Hey, it's the garbage truck. Anyway, there's some interesting plants growing, basically weeds, and they're backlit right now. So I saw that from in the kitchen right in here. I looked out the window of the kitchen and I saw that, and I said, okay, well, that's going to be the first thing I shoot. There's a trail in this neighborhood that goes kind of under some power lines. I've never actually hiked it, but I thought I might wander around on it and see what I can find. But my first shot is right here. So there's the lens, and I'm shooting. I'm going to try to do everything at f2.8 today, so I'll always know what my aperture was. There may be a time when I have to stop down, and if so, I'll note that. And that's the plant right there that I'm trying to shoot, and it's kind of an interesting composition. It might be hard to see here looking at the back of the camera, but I think it's going to be kind of pretty with the backlight and the bright green in the background and the dark brown in the foreground. ISO 100 and 1/80th of a second. There's that picture. I kind of like the way it turned out, and you know, the HANIMEX lens, it's not the sharpest lens in the world, not by a wide margin, but the out of focus areas are so beautiful. Look at all the beautiful bokeh balls in the grass on the hill, especially on the left-hand side of the frame. Really like the way this turned out. I've made a second shot now kind of similar to that first one, but this is a little bit further down the hill. Oh, actually there's a little bit better light on my subject now. I think I'm going to do it again. Ta-ta. Light changed just a little bit on this little weed coming up, and it made it look better, so I redid the shot. But it is darker right here. So let's see if I can get my settings to come up. I kept my shutter speed at 1/80th of a second because there's a little bit of breeze, and to get the exposure right in this slightly darker area, I bumped my ISO up to 400, which of course the Z6 can handle with absolutely no problem. This is the second shot, and honestly I don't like it nearly as much as the first shot, but I do like it. I like the way the light is hitting that weed, and I like all the different colors of Leland cypress needle droppings. You can see the fresher ones are brightly colored, and the ones that have been laying there for a long time are getting darker and darker, and some of them are even black in color. And now it's time for me to start hiking through the neighborhood and up to that trail that goes under the power lines. Well, I've made it all the way through the neighborhood to the trail system that goes under. I don't know if you can see those power lines up there, but it's cleared for the power lines that kind of run right through the neighborhood. And some of the area that's not under the power lines is wooded, and I ran across these pine trees. Now on the way here, I was really hoping there would be a lot more interesting things to photograph in the foliage that's growing under the power lines, but it turns out not so much. And then the light got bad. It's kind of harsh sun now. It's midday, worst time of day to do photography, but I've got a free moment, so like David Sailors would say, Geico tap, get your camera out and take a picture, so I'm out. But anyway, I took some pictures of some blackberries that I don't think were very good, and I did stop in the neighborhood and take a picture of one of my neighbor's flowers that are growing out by the mailbox. I didn't venture into their yard at all. But I came here, and they're really small pine trees, but they're shaded and have some cross light just a little, and I took a picture of them with the HANIMEX 135 2.8. So but I'm going to keep looking around, see if I can find anything else. Alright, well here is the neighbor's flower out by their mailbox. Heather informs me that this is a lantana, and I bumped into the aperture ring and I think I landed at f4 on this one, and it still has a pleasing out of focus area. My focus point was that flower kind of in the rule of thirds area, and you can see a bokeh ball in this shot that's down near the bottom left that shows the 6 blades of the aperture, so I definitely was not wide open. Alright, here are the pine trees that are near the power lines. Very, very small pine trees, and they still look small, but they don't look as tiny as they actually are. This one's at 2.8, and I let the background drift out of focus, and there's some grass in the bottom left corner, some dry grass that's out of focus in the foreground. I kind of like it. I'm still under the power lines, and I came down to this area. We've had a pretty good bit of rain lately, and all this Georgia clay, although we're in Tennessee, there's all this Georgia clay down here, and some, I guess those are cattails right there. And I found the place where my neighbors, if they're done with a lawnmower, instead of taking it to the dump, they just throw it here, so that's beautiful. But over here, I found this amazing flower growing wild, and I've been taking some pictures of it, but you know, this lens doesn't have a great minimum focus distance. I'm about at it now, which I guess is over a meter. So right now I'm making video with the X-T3, but I think I'm going to put the X-T3 on so I can take advantage of its 1.52x crop and take another picture of this flower with it. Lots of changes have to be made. I made a few shots of these beautiful flowers with the HANIMEX lens on the X-T3, and I went ahead and made this clip with the HANIMEX lens on the X-T3 because I've kind of been using the X-T3 for all the video. Beautiful flower. I guess that's another one about to open, and here's another one and another one. Don't know what it's called, but it's very pretty. And I didn't get a shot of it, but a butterfly came and landed on it, and there's been bees, and a couple of insects are on it right now. So hopefully some of the photos will come out okay. You know, the HANIMEX 135, I guess, is probably supposed to be a portrait lens, but that's not what I'm using it for. It's definitely not a macro lens, but I'm just playing, having fun. Heather quickly identified this one as a passion flower, and you know, and I made lots of photographs of this with the Z6, and this is the X-T3, but this one is by far my favorite. It's got a bee on it. The bee's pretty close to in focus, if not in focus, and there's 3 of these passion flowers. One of them is fully open, one is closed, and one is starting to open. So I really like this rule of odds photograph with the bee and the beautiful flower. It is hot. I am absolutely covered with sweat. I know I didn't get any great photos in this video, and I apologize about that, but I'm practicing David Saylor's Geico tap rules. Get your camera out and take a picture with it. I had a little bit of time. I wanted to fiddle around with this HANIMEX lens, which I'm also making this video clip with. I think the previous one was at f16. This one back in my dark area beside the house is at f2.8, so it's probably a lot prettier here. And I don't know, maybe some of the pictures will come out okay. I haven't seen them yet. Okay, so I wasn't too keen on today's video that I made, and then I got home and I looked at the pictures and I kind of liked them. So I went ahead and kind of finished up. Really, the HANIMEX lens is, that 135 f2.8 lens is really kind of a portrait lens. So my daughter got home from work and I asked her to pose for me for a little bit right here on the porch. Made a couple of photos of her, and I'm going to share one of those with you right now. For portraits, it probably would have been better if I had put this lens back on the full frame censored Nikon Z6, but I was lazy and left it on the X-T3, and the results are pretty doggone good. And like I was saying earlier in the video, this lens is just not tack sharp. I could never get my daughter's eyes perfectly sharp, and I tried a lot. Of course, it is manual focus, and I wasn't using a tripod, so there's that, but I can't get over the beautiful separation, and look at that background. The out of focus areas with this $15 lens are outstanding. While I was walking back home, I came to a section of the neighborhood that has kind of a high area, and you can see some mountains off in the distance. And I, with the HANIMEX 135 2.8 on the X-T3, I put it vertical on the tripod and made a panorama, and I really kind of like it. So take a look at that now. I was about to have a heat stroke when I made this photograph as I walked home from the place where the passion flower was, and if I had thought about it some more, I would have stopped this down to f8 or f5.6 or something like that, but I ended up shooting this at f2.8, and I think it probably would have been sharper if I had stopped it down some. But even at f2.8, I'm still really pleased with the results. I see this area every day when I drive home, but there's houses in the foreground. But with this panorama, I was able to eliminate the houses in the foreground and just get the beautiful mountains and the clouds that we had that day. All right, thanks for watching. Have a great day. I really appreciate you taking the time out of your day to watch this video. If you like the content, give us a thumbs up and maybe subscribe and hit the bell if you want to see some more. Bye-bye.